Hi, everyone, and welcome to this discussion with one of the most important, I think, big thinkers that I have had the pleasure to meet over the course of my career, Art Bilger. Art is probably the greatest expert in America on a topic that I think is of existential importance to the economy, to the very social fabric of our society, certainly to our political system going forward. And it happens to be a topic that is very seldom discussed for reasons that I cannot fathom. So I'm particularly excited to speak with Art today as we look to emerge from the COVID-related lockdown in the US. I think the timing could not be better. Art, great to have you with us.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. Look, for the audience, I really think you should look up Art Bilger. He's one of the most prolifically successful people that I know. He was head and co-head of investment banking at Drexel Burnham Lambert. He was a co-founder of Apollo. He was a chairman at Akamai. He's been a very successful film producer. And he decided to give up so many different and extraordinarily successful and promising career paths to focus on a topic of great concern to him, which I happen to share, unfortunately. And Art, I really hope we're both very off the mark and very wrong in this concern that we have. And the topic is one of the destruction of jobs. We live in a world where outsourcing of production and manufacturing to lower cost countries has destroyed a big swath of jobs really in the developed world. We now are dealing with and will continue to deal with the impact of automation on job destruction as well. I remember when I grew up, a new auto plant would entail thousands of jobs. Now it could mean a couple of dozens, if that, just because everything is getting automated. And increasingly, and this is the part that I think is most misunderstood and potentially of concern to everyone, and certainly should be, is automation, which stands to take out important chunks of the job market and really high-end job markets. And Art, and the question I think that we, the Real Vision audience, have to ask ourselves, because at the end of the day, the Real Vision audience includes some of the most impactful investors and CIOs and business leaders in the world. And we are therefore a quite, and I would say, unusually impactful bunch. I think we really need to take these topics into consideration, think about, do I understand this to be an important problem? And we're not looking to impose our views on you. And if you do agree with us that this is a big problem, my question for you, if I may please present it, is what are you going to do about it? Because this is, I think, and I hope I'm wrong, it's a huge problem. It's not enough being done. I think it's quite urgent that we all think about this and try to come up with solutions as Art has. But anyway, Art, before we get into the meat of the matter, and given especially your kind of prolific background, tell us about yourself and your background, and how did you end up in finance, and how do you achieve the kind of fun journey that you've engineered for yourself in our no longer cottage and no longer quaint industry? Why did you decide to pivot to the corporate world?
Well, I think luck. I'm very much a believer in luck. And then it's just a matter of, do you take advantage of luck? So when I was 16 years old, I was very lucky. My father got me a summer job at a small but very significant Wall Street firm called Spingarn Heine and Company. And I was a runner. This was back in the days where you had to deliver securities and deliver checks and all. I think I was the youngest runner by about 50 years. I had a fabulous summer eating soubrette hot dogs down on Wall Street 5 days a week. I grew up in the New York area. And at the end of the summer, when I saw my guidance counselor in school, and I went to public school, I said to him, I want to go to Wall Street when I get out of college. And he said to me, well, if you don't want to go to Wall Street, you got to go to the Wharton School. And fast forward, I ultimately applied early decision to the Wharton School and got in and spent 4 really interesting years at the Wharton School. However, in the middle of the summer between my sophomore and junior years at Wharton, I had a job at Chase Manhattan Bank, and I learned from the head of Latin America, if I remember correctly. We had a nice lunch. He said, Art, you're fantastic. The Wharton School is fantastic, but I got bad news for you. You need an MBA to become an investment banker, which is what I wanted to do. So fast forward, I literally drove from Philadelphia to